guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Somali. Coming on here with another freaking video. Okay, so I feel like this video is going to be interesting because I know a little bit about Somalia, but I don't really know that much. So today I'm about to learn 15 facts about Somalia that I did not know. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so this is 15 things you didn't know about Somalia, and this is from Al-Qaeda.
This is Travel Tuesdays. Every Tuesday we present you with another incredible country. Today we're looking at 15 things you didn't know about Somalia. Welcome to alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get informed.
That is nice. Y'all see that? Hold up.
Hello, Alux.
Y'all see that yacht? Okay, all right.
Luxers, and welcome back to our channel. It's great to have you here with us today on
That's
another
beautiful.
video about countries. Today we're spinning the globe all the way to
I
Africa
want to see that in
and
real
making a stop
life.
in Somalia. Somalia is a country located on the Horn of Africa. The country faced civil war.
Okay, so I'm sorry to say this, but a lot of you guys in the comments like to say that, oh, we're not a part of Africa. We are our own race. To each his own. I'm gonna let you say what you want to say, but did you hear what she just said? Somalia is located on the Horn of Africa. I'm gonna just let that sink in. Just let that sink in for a second, okay?
And extreme poverty over the past decades, and still fights with lots of political and economic issues. Their close vicinity to the Middle East has put them at risk for oil exploitation in the area, and right in between the conflict zone with Yemen or Iran. Tourist areas should be safe to visit.
A lot of you guys do tell me that, you know, if I want to travel to Somalia, I have to be safe, and that I also have to make sure I have a will if I have kids because I might not come back. And that's not going to discourage me from wanting to visit Somalia. Like, I still want to go to Somalia. And let's just look at those hands. I love the henna. I love the henna hands. I think that is beautiful. And the bangles. I used to do that a lot when I was younger.
But always check with your Minister of External Affairs and do your research. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Alux. With that being said, let's dig into this controversial country and see what is good, what is bad, what's true, and what we can learn from it. Here are 15 things you didn't know about Somalia. Number 1. Even though it's part of Africa, Somalia is a Muslim country.
Number 1, even if it's part of Africa, Somalia is a Muslim country. The first part of the sentence, even if it's part of Africa. So people like to get on me about my name and about why am I looking into Somalia? Why am I exploring Somalia? Get your own African name. Somali is a African name. Somali is a black name. Like the racism is so crazy. It's so crazy, but
most countries in Africa and Asia have not adopted Christianity or other major religions. They still have a lot of native African tribes that practice their own individual religions and praise their own gods. Due to its vicinity to the Middle East, however, Somalia has had a lot of Arabic influences and has adopted Islam as an official religion. In Somalia, over 95% of the population is Muslim under the Sunni branch of Islam. Being the official religion of the country, it dictates a lot of the rules and restrictions the country has, such as not eating pork meat or the obligation for women to cover their faces with veils. Number 2. In Somalia, women still endure genital mutilation. Unlike modern countries where women have stronger rights and more control over their own bodies, in Somalia, this sadly rarely happens. There are a lot of cases throughout Africa where women are mutilated so they can't feel sexual pleasure or attract other men, and Somalia is unfortunately no exception, with extreme Islamic views having a lot of influence on the matter.
Oh my God, y'all! I'm literally over here tearing up. Like, what? Oh my. Okay. I'm not gonna speak on something that I don't really know much about, but
Somalia has one of the highest rates of female genital mutilation in the world, but the country is now under UNICEF's pressure, and they will hopefully end this torture as soon as possible. Some girls suffer this procedure at very young ages, between 11 and 12. In efforts to stop this, the Ministry of Women's Affairs and Human Rights wants to pass a law that will put an end to the practice. Number 3. Homosexuality is punishable by death in Somalia. Unfortunately, even though we live in a modern world, people still haven't accepted that not everyone has the same sexual orientation. There are some initiatives on the matter, but not enough.
That's so sad.
Homosexuality still faces stigmas around the world due to religion and the preconceptions that only a man and a woman can be in a relationship. In Somalia, homosexuality is punishable by death. It is a very extreme decision, but if a judge believes that imprisonment is not enough, he can sentence the defendant to death. In Somalia, sexual orientation falls under a criminal law, and at first it comes with imprisonment for 3 to 5 years. Number 4. Somalia didn't have an effective government for 17 years. Somalia might be a country that has endured war and instability the most. Between 1991 and 2006, the country was in civil war and had no effective government the whole time.
What?
Large areas of the country were...
My religion, personally, like, we don't believe... I said I don't talk about my religion online, which I won't. Like, I won't say what my religion is, but we don't believe in the government. Like, we believe in man. We don't put our beliefs in man to save us, such as the government. We believe in a higher power. So Somalia didn't have an effective government for 17 years. I mean, I can only imagine, because Somalia is dangerous within itself, so I've heard. So for them to not have an effective government and everyone just running wild, and you're able to do... like I said, I can't really speak on it because I haven't done much research about it, so I don't want to say the wrong thing and offend anyone, but that's crazy.
Internationally unrecognized and administered as autonomous regions of Somalia, while forces in the northwest declared the Republic of Somaliland. Due to this harsh situation, Somalia had been cited many times as a real-world example of a stateless society and a country with no formal legal system for more than 10 years. Now that the civil war has ended, the country is slowly recovering, and some cities started to develop, expand, and adopt more modern technologies. But due to its proximity to Saudi Arabia, the country is still not fully at peace. Number 5. Abdirashid Duale is one of the few multi-millionaires of Somalia. Somalia is known to have some of the most entrepreneurial people in Africa. Abdirashid Duale is
Somalia.
The CEO of Habshil, an international fund transfer company headquartered in Dubai. He took the business from his father, and nowadays he owns the only company that transfers money to and from Somalia. Now, at 40 years old, he runs the entire company and employs more than 2,000 people worldwide. In 2006...
You know what, for me, like, being a millionaire is nothing without being able to give back to your people and help your people. So the fact that he employs more than, they say 2,000 or 20,000 people, I think that's absolutely amazing, to build your wealth and then give back, and you're able to help other people and able to help them feed their families. I think that's beautiful.
2016, his company had revenues of $1 billion. The company also operates a leading commercial bank in Somalia and owns 95% of mobile telecoms from Somtel. Aside from that, he owns property in...
Excuse me, sir. I know I do not speak Somalia, but I'm working on my language just a little bit. And I just want to let you know that I've worked in banking for over 6+ years, commercial banking to be exact. So, you know, we're in the middle of a pandemic over here in the U.S. So, if you want to scoop a sister up, and you know, I can help with the commercial banking and real estate and development. Yeah, that's just a little facts about me.
London, Dubai, and Hargeisa. Number 6. There's an Al-Qaeda affiliate in Somalia. Having had such a long civil war and so many unrecognized autonomous regions, Somalia is the perfect place for an international organization to train, hide, and recruit people. Being a part of the Islam countries, it proved to be the perfect place.
I'm sorry, I might be a little slow, but I don't know what an Al-Qaeda affiliate means. So I'm just going to Google it really quick because, yeah. Al-Qaeda affiliate. What is? It says this product outlines major terrorist groups affiliated and allied with Al-Qaeda. I don't know. If you guys know what that means, comment down below. Give me a little bit of insight. I'm going to continue watching this and hopefully it tells me.
For Al-Qaeda Forces. For the past decade, they've been fighting with African troops and U.S. forces. There are still armed attacks and terrorist actions happening in Somalia as we speak, and they even kidnap children in order to train them and use them as soldiers. Number 7. Somalia took...
So the babies can't even be babies because they're being kidnapped and trained to kill?
Down a UAE plane and seized $9.6 million. Being so close to Saudi Arabia and the whole Middle East conflict, Somalia is stuck in between influences. Africa is starting to receive more and more help and guidance from the West, but Arabic culture has been there long before and still plays a major role. But even though Somalia theoretically has a good relationship with the whole peninsula, it seems like they can't be trusted. Recently, they shot down a UAE plane and seized $9.6 million from it. After the incident, UAE declared that all military help were to be seized and that all measures would be taken to prevent this from happening again. They pissed off the rich guys. I guess we'll have to see how this unfolds for them. Number 8. They're at war with Kenya over borders and oil. Another conflict that rocks Somalia is the one between them and their neighboring country, Kenya. They share a decent part of the shoreline and can't decide where the border...
I had to see what date this video was made in. It was made July 31st, 2018. So is this still going on? Is this still a thing?
Begins and where it ends. Of course, there's much more to the story than it seems. Can you guess what it is? Yes, oil. A narrow triangle off the coast of Africa of approximately 100,000 square kilometers is the root of the issue between the two countries, since the area supposedly has a large deposit of oil and gas. The diplomatic tensions between them have risen lately, but let's hope they can keep it peaceful. If the tensions go on and armed forces get involved, we'll face another war zone in Somalia. Number 9. A young Somali boy made electric toys out of trash.
That's dope.
In spite of the low literacy rate, the extreme poverty in some areas, and the tensions between people in Somalia, they work to rise above the issues and become an example. A young boy succeeded to build an
That's beautiful. That's talent right there.
electric toy out of trash and broken pieces. The boy is only 13 years old and made his electric toy with old plastic pieces of an old car and electric motors. The news made international headlines, and hopefully his enthusiasm and intelligence won't remain unnoticed by people having the power to invest in him. Number 10. A Somali family received a £2 million council house in the UK. During the past several years, Somali people have fled the country in an attempt to escape the war and civil tensions happening on a regular basis in Somalia. Seeking other places to call home, some landed in the UK and even in America. One lucky family received a $2 million council house in London for them to start a new life there.
A lot of people comment down below and let me know that I guess it's a community of people, a community of Somali people located in Minneapolis and also Ohio. So that's crazy because I was just in Ohio 6 months ago.
The house is maintained out of tax money, and the family fit the criteria to deserve such a home. However, this sparked serious anger among citizens because there are also many UK families that don't have a house to live in and weren't fortunate enough to stay in such a place. The Somali family has 10 members and now lives in a 6-bedroom home close to Tony Blair's previous house that they have to pay £1,000 per month for.
That's not bad.
And Aluxers, if you want to find out some more about London, make sure to check out our 15 Things You Didn't Know About London video by clicking.
What's £1,000 in US dollars? That's not bad. That's $1,300 a month for 6 people. Like, what? Let me see. Per person, that's about $1,300 divided by 6. That's $200 per person. Girl, bye.
In the top right corner.
That's good.
Number 11. The Gulf crisis affects Somalia too. As we mentioned, their vicinity with Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates puts Somalia right in the middle of the Gulf crisis. Last year, when the UAE broke ties with Qatar again, they threatened that if their allies, including Somalia, don't do the same, they will face the same fate. This was the 3rd time when the UAE cut ties with Qatar. The newly formed government of Somalia was faced with a diplomatic situation they couldn't handle. For years, Somalia has been following the United Arab Emirates' footsteps, but it seems that this time they're faced with a more delicate situation. Number 12. The movie Black Hawk Down had an incident in Somalia as an inspiration. It sure looks like war and hero movies make the biggest bucks at the box office, and they sure reach fans' hearts in a different way.
But
the movie portrays actual events happening in Somalia in 1993 during an army raid.
A real one was born in 93. I was born in 93, you guys, in case you're wondering.
Seems as if the U.S. planned an attack on Somalia, but things didn't go as planned, and what was supposed to be a quick raid turned into a 2-day-long fight between Army Rangers, U.S. Special Forces, and hundreds of Somali gunmen. Number 13. Many cities and industries in Somalia were made with foreign help. Having endured so much war and destruction, Somalia is now one of the poorest countries in the world. Some areas are still recovering, some are in ruins, and some are developing thanks to international help from humanitarian organizations. After the Civil War, a lot of countries offered to help Somalia rise from the ashes and become as economically independent as possible. Somalia is classified by the United Nations as an underdeveloped country with lots of political and economic issues, especially because everything they managed to build in their recent history was due to foreign help. Somalia will have a lot of perspectives if it gets its technology and political.
I'm not even going to say what I was getting ready to say, but yeah, I'm happy that foreigners are able to help Somalia, and that people, outsiders and people who don't live there are able to help and donate and do certain things. I think that's absolutely amazing.
Political stability on point, with oil and gas to explore and all industries around it to develop. Number 14. Over 70% of Somalis live on less than $2 per day. According to Business Insider, Malawi, Ethiopia, and Eritrea are some of the poorest countries in the world. Compared to them, Somalia looks a little bit better, but the population there still lives at the edge of poverty in many areas. Up to 70% of the population lives with less than $2 per day. Their public health service was destroyed during the Civil War, so living with little money and having no access to healthcare doesn't give Somalia the best of chances to build a sustainable economy very soon. Number 15. In Somalia, you can find some of the oldest cave paintings. Somalia is not your usual vacation spot, as we keep telling you. The country doesn't own any Guinness Book of World Records, no UNESCO heritage sites or famous movie sets, just ruins and people walking with guns on the street. But they also have some of the oldest cave paintings in the world. If you decide to give this country a chance, you can do so through
I want to go. I still want to go. And I still want to see the cave paintings and see the beach and stuff like that.
few organizations and travel agencies that can help you cross the border and show you around. The trips have created excitement among Somalis as well as foreigners. Not a lot of people have the guts to visit this country, but those who do should be encouraged. And that was it for today.
Listen, my name is Somali. I'm strong. I was built strong. Yes, I grew up in poverty. I grew up in probably one of the poorest cities in the United States of America. So a lot of people look at me and think this, and that. But I've been through a lot of things as well. And I don't live in the richest city either. But, you know, I think what's most important is that you make the best of every situation and that you don't always have to stay in a certain situation. There's always a way out.
Today, A-Luxers. We hope you now understand a little bit more about this country. Now, before you go, as always, we're curious to know, what do you think about the extreme way women are treated in Somalia? And of course,
that alone brought tears to my eyes, the way that women are treated and the way that, like, really, like, you cut their, you know, genitalia off, like, and I'm starting to tear up again. That's wow. And I know for some people, like, it's, I don't know. I don't want to say the wrong thing about something that I really don't know much about. So,
sticking with us all the way to the end, here's your bonus fact. Number 16. Some Somalis are real pirates. It turns out pirates do exist in modern days, and they actually live on ships and rob other people. Around 2005, Somali pirates started to attack international shipping vessels. The Somali government addressed the issue, but some believe they were working hand in hand with the pirates. Soon, Russia and India took the matters into their own hands, establishing maritime security patrols in the area of the Gulf of Aden, and since then the attacks have dropped significantly. Nowadays, they still do exist, but their influence and activity is, thankfully, much lower. Thank you for spending.
You know what people don't understand about, like, people who rob and people who are, like, pirates or people who do, like, bad things? As you can see, the circumstances in Somalia aren't that great. And with that being said, if they had the resources that they needed, this is how I feel about the hood as well. If the hood and if certain countries had the resources that they needed in order to survive, they would not have to do these things. They would not have to hurt other people. They would not have to rob other people. Like, they would have healthcare. They would have food for their family. This is what people don't understand. And I feel like to a certain extent, like Somalia and the hood, I feel like government officials, they do these things on purpose. Like, they make it so that people can't progress and they have to depend on other people, or they have to kill, or they have to rob, because not only does it keep the population low, but it also keep people with the same circumstances in the same area with the same mindset. So I don't know if y'all was expecting me to be like a little bit more shook about the robbing and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, robbing is wrong, killing is wrong, but the circumstances behind it, it's like if the government was doing what they're supposed to be doing as far as like helping the people and being there for the people and making sure people don't go to bed hungry, or making sure people have roofs over their heads, and making sure they don't have to go to extreme measures in order to take care of their family, I feel like a lot of the crime would decrease. That goes for Somalia, that goes for my hood, that goes for the world, period. And I feel like a lot of people need to wake up and see how the world and the Lord have mercy, don't come for me. I respect the government. I don't want no problems. But I do feel like, listen, they don't want certain people of a certain skin color to win, of a certain culture to win, of a certain background to win. And the fact that, and that's what hurts me the most about when I receive like a lot of negativity in the comments, but I receive a lot of love too, so I want to thank you guys for that. But the negativity is like, you still have that slave mentality, okay? You still have that slave mentality. There's no way you're supposed to be treating your brothers and your sisters this way. Like, think about it. Think about it. Like, for real, there's no way you're supposed to be acting like this, but it's the slave mentality that makes everybody want to fight within their same race, to make people actually think that they're better than somebody else because they are of a lighter color, or they are of a better, not even a better, but a silkier hair texture, or a smaller features, or get out of here with all of that. For real, like, I feel like a lot of people need to grow up and see that we're literally being brainwashed. We're being brainwashed into thinking that we have to act and behave and treat other people a certain way because of the things that have been programmed into us. Even the European beauty standard, you know, we all do it to a certain extent. I don't want to go on a rant. I want to thank you guys so freaking much for watching and checking your girl out. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you thought about this video. I'm sorry for tearing up, but that was just a lot for me to take in. I think the two main things that really stood out to me is women having their genitalia being cut off, and also people over in Somalia living on $2 a day. Okay, guys, I hope that you have a great day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. So Somali.